Welcome to the Permian Strategic Partnership Podcast. I'm your host, Krista Escamilla. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Permian Strategic Partnership Podcast, our end of the year podcast. And we are so grateful that you are here with us to listen and learn about all the wonderful things that PSP is doing in our community. And today we're going to wrap up 2025 with someone whose leadership continues to really grow the basin and really to make our community a better place. So please help me welcome Tracee Bentley. She is the president and CEO of the Permian Strategic Partnership. Thank you, Tracee, so much for being with us.
I'm so excited to be back. It's been a while.
It has.
And to be able to wrap up 2025 with you and for our listeners is really special.
Well, I can't think of a better person to have as our last guest of the year. And I know there's been so many amazing things that have occurred over the past year. I've been a part of them. I've seen them from afar. I've heard about them. But to hear from you today, I cannot wait. And so I think the first thing I'd love to do looking back on 2025 is find out what you believe is the biggest accomplishment of the year.
Every year I get asked that, Krista, and every year it's so hard to pick one because I can't, because by the time we are able to fund an initiative, we are really, really close to it. And right. The people that it will affect and the partners that come with it. So I don't know that I have a favorite, but I will tell you this year was a big year, particularly big year in education for us.
Yes.
We've funded a couple of career technical education high schools and centers, certainly the big one in Odessa with ECISD, and then a couple one in Carlsbad and one in Artesia. Mm-hmm. And so I just love it when a good plan comes together.
Yes.
Like 4 years, we spent a lot of time and effort on a comprehensive study for career technical education in our entire region and thought, okay, every single town, probably we can't invest in a CTE center, but we can be strategic and think about where are the hubs where we can bring in the most students and impact the most communities. And we're very close to having CTE centers in our hubs. And so we're very excited about the workforce link there to education for sure. And then we had so much success last year with our partnership with Holdsworth and training the school leadership that we wanted to do it again. And this time we hope to reach some of the principals and school leadership that maybe didn't get to go in the first round.
Okay.
And so really broaden out and make sure, we want to make sure that every educator in the Permian who wants to have this world-class training has the opportunity to get it from us. So we're going to go for another round.
I love that. And there are so many initiatives that you work on. And just listening to you talk about that one in particular, I was thinking the time and the years that go into it, it just doesn't happen overnight, right? So what goes into making these things happen? Because I think that's something that just the everyday person like myself would not understand, right? Just the connections, the speaking with different legislators and then community members and then educators. So how does it all come together and make it happen like it did?
You're right. I think I don't think the easy part is approving funding for something. The hard work is on the front end, getting that ready for approval for our board. And on average, we spend about a year getting a program from start to finish ready for our board to approve or not approve or look at. And to your point, it starts with an idea somewhere, whether that comes from somebody in our community, whether that comes from one of our member companies, whether that comes from a board member or from staff. It really doesn't matter. Right. A good idea is a good idea.
That's right.
And so when it's brought to us, we think about, does it fit our goals? Is it something that is going to advance the Permian via education, healthcare, workforce development? And is it going to be a game changer?
Yeah. Is
it really going to change the landscape in whatever field that we're looking at? And if we can say yes to all those, we pursue it. And it won't surprise anybody or you to know that our organization is very data-driven when you look at who our board is. And so every step we make has got to be backed by data. Yes. And that shows that this will be a good investment. So we collect the data and then we take it through our process through our committee of reference. So if it's education initiative, it'll go through education committee. If it passes out of there, it'll go to management committee, and then if it passes there, it will go to the board. Wow. But every committee has the ability to help shape it and make it even better and stronger, including final step at the board, which they have often done. They say, this looks great, but did we think about this? Or I'd like to see more of this. And so it's just being touched and molded every step.
I love that. And the end result is what is amazing, because it's helping kids, it's helping students, teachers, parents, it's helping communities, like the HERO program. That is something with TxDOT I know that PSP was a big part of.
Oh my gosh, the HERO program, Krista. So I think we just passed that in a few months ago. So it's been on the ground running for a handful of months.
I saw one the other
really?
day. I did. I got so excited. I was like, there's the HERO truck. It's here. It's helping someone. It was pretty exciting.
It is so exciting to see them in action. But that's something that, we've done so much advocacy to bring more road funding to the Permian, because as everybody knows who's been around for any amount of time, our roads have been neglected. Well, in the past 6 years, we've received more funding for our roads than we have the decades before. And so we're proud of that, but we also know that's not enough. We've got to be able to help our first responders and law enforcement, because we are so vast. And so how can we supplement, not replace, how can we supplement until they can get there? And then we heard about this amazing HERO truck program in Dallas and Houston on the eastern side. And we asked TxDOT, why don't we have that? And they said, well, it's really meant for urban areas. And we said, yeah, but if we help figure this out. And anyway, the answer is yes. And to your point, the stories that are coming out of how HERO trucks have helped, it's just mind-blowing in just a couple of months. So yes, so everybody be on the lookout for HERO trucks out in between Midland and Odessa on the roads, helping motorists with flat tires.
Yes.
If you run out of gas, really anything that's not like a 911, HERO trucks will be there to help you and secure you if law enforcement needs to come.
I love that. I think it's amazing. It's such an asset to our program, because I know that is a big goal, is to really keep our roads safer.
Yes.
And to make the roads safer. And look, you're doing it. That's fantastic. Let's talk about healthcare. I know you're passionate about healthcare. What have we seen this year, and what can we look forward to in coming years when it comes to healthcare?
Healthcare, of course, is one of our priority areas. And this year, we're really excited to work on a pediatric residency program with Texas Tech University. 5 years ago, when we did our healthcare landscape study, one of the things that really rose above many other things, an area of need, was pediatricians. We don't have enough of them right now. And many that we do have who have served our community for 40 years are about ready to retire or want to retire.
Right.
But there's nobody to come in and replace them. And so we have been literally talking about and shaping this particular initiative, I would say, for 4 years with Texas Tech.
Okay.
And so many things have to be in place for them to be able to have the correct certification, to be able to train them here, and the list goes on and on. But we finally got all those pieces in place, or very close to. So we are ready to work with them to grow our own pediatricians.
Wow.
And then hopefully they will, if they don't already love our community, they will fall in love with it and then stay here and start practices.
I love that. That is fantastic. Let's talk about membership. I know you have 29 members. This consists of oil and gas companies and education. You have Texas Tech and the University of Texas system. How does that look? I mean, when you think about all those wonderful people coming together and for a common goal, how does that make you feel, being in charge of where their funds are going? How does that make you feel that they have all come together to support the same mission that you love and are passionate about?
I mean, I'm being sincere when I say sometimes I have to pinch myself, because just to even hear you say the words, it's like, wait a minute, two big academic institutions can not only get along, but more than get along, collaborate, and really be transformational with oil and gas companies.
Right.
Right. Said no one ever. But it is
right.
It is truly amazing how incredibly well they all work together. They share the same vision, which is really the magic is if we're all believing in the same thing, we all want the Permian to be an even better place to live, work, and raise our families. And everything else just kind of seems to fall into place. And I will tell you when Texas Tech University System and University of Texas System said, we love what you're doing out there. Also, the Permian is very, very important to us. Do you think there's an opportunity to partner? We thought about it. I guess it makes sense. Right. And that was a year ago, and it's just as if they've been here from the beginning. So it's been a beautiful partnership.
I love that. And then to me, it seems like the perspective they would bring, to the organization really just, again, solidifies what you're doing here in West Texas with education and with STEM and CTE. So, I mean, it really is a beautiful partnership.
Really is.
Do you have any other goals to bring in more education? What is the goal there?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. Just recently, Texas A&M.
Good. I was going to say the Aggies out there might be like, hey, we want in.
I know we got a lot of Aggies out there, and that is not lost on me. I've got several Aggies on my board. But recently we've been talking to them about, particularly in healthcare, and the rural outreach side of healthcare. Because, I mean, people know that what Texas A&M has that's such a gem and very unique is they have their agriculture extension offices, I think, in every single county in the state.
Wow.
And so we said, but they have this amazing infrastructure, and we're trying to reach all the rural counties in West Texas. My goodness.
Right.
Like, that seems like a great partnership. So we've had several initial conversations, and they are like, oh my gosh, yes, this could be amazing. And so anyway, I don't want to put them on the spot, but conversations have gone so well, and so
great.
I love our relationship with Texas A&M.
I think that's fantastic, and like you said, it's almost like a no-brainer partnership, right?
I think so.
It would be a perfect combination of people coming together.
Yes.
I love that. What has been the most inspiring thing for you in the position you're in of 2025?
I think a couple of things. Number one, my team, without a doubt. This year we've had a couple of babies be born, and so and everybody's critical on a team when you have a very small team, right?
Right.
Those are very critical. Everybody's got a lot to do and responsibilities, and so a couple of people were out, and I was so proud of how our team came together. Didn't complain, never said that's not part of my job. We all came together. We got it done over the finish line, and then also I just saw so much growth this year. I think because there were gaps to fill, some boundaries needed to be pushed, and my team just absolutely didn't shy away, stood up, and I saw a lot of growth professionally out of them, and that's so great to see as a leader, as you know, and know that, if I ever, for whatever reason, had to be out for a short amount of time, that I don't have to worry.
Right.
Like, they've got it. So that was a beautiful thing this year.
Love that.
And I think the second thing was we onboarded 2 new members this year.
Yay.
Deep Blue and Encore.
Wow. Encore. Okay.
Encore.
So we're getting, a different part of energy, but an energy company. I love that.
Yes. And I'm excited about both of them because they do bring a new dynamic to PSP that is very important to the region and also, of course, the industry. But I think it speaks to those 2 entities saying, if we're going to make big investments, it's going to be in the Permian. And that just sent a big signal to us and to, I hope, the community, like, wow.
Right.
I mean, these 2 are investing, and particularly when it comes to Encore, knowing how desperately we need power. And Encore has huge plans to expand power here and also give back to our community. So
that's fantastic. I'd love to hear that. And I'm glad you mentioned your team. Your team really is amazing. I may be biased because I just love women supporting women, but they are an amazing group of women that really, I've seen them in action and at work. And to be there in that room, there was a big event where there was the passing of the torch recently with Don Evans to Jack Harper, and to see them work that room and make it all happen, I thought you really do have an amazing team that, they have no idea what they're doing. And so I hope, they probably do, but I mean, they don't know the impact that us community members see of what they're doing. And so I want to say thank you to them as well, because they really they're with you making this all happen, which is a lot. I can't imagine what you do day in and day out. So yes, hats off to the team.
I agree. These are ladies too. Some of them are new moms, young moms. So they've got babies at home or kids in, littles in kindergarten, first grade. They have families of their own and just like everyday life. And on the top of that, they have big responsibilities at PSP and they handle it so beautifully.
I love that. Well, it speaks to leadership. So it starts at the top. You have just really led them well. So I want to talk, speaking of leadership, former Secretary of Commerce, Don Evans, passing the torch. And I know this was really his... I mean, if I'm misspeaking here, but was it his brainchild 6 years ago, and him and several others?
He was certainly part of the original
group.
Core conversation. There was a 5 or 6 companies who were at a conference, all kind of sharing thoughts, and they said, "Are y'all having this trouble too in the Permian?" Yes, we are too. We're having trouble with access to healthcare, quality education, and workforce development opportunities. And so they said, "Well, if we're all having the same problems, we should figure out how to work together." Yes. So then they actually followed through and got serious about it, to kind of started scoping this out, and they said, we need a really transformational leader, somebody who will just take this to the next level. And I think somebody in the room said, boy, I don't think we could ever get him, but Don Evans would be the guy. Yes. And they said, well, who wants to approach him? And so somebody said, I'll do it, but manage expectations. And when he said yes, I mean, the heavens opened up, and the rest is history. But yes,
I love that.
I can't think professionally of one person who's had a bigger impact on me professionally and a community more than Don Evans.
Really?
Yes.
I believe that 100%, because to speak to him, you almost get a degree just sitting there listening to him. I mean, it's like, well, I just learned today, right? Because he has so much knowledge and experience that I think that the position you were in, to get to learn from him for the past 6 years, had to have been amazing.
I tell people all the time, people would pay a lot of money to get a quarter of the mentorship that I've received from Don, and I get it, for free, and I get paid to do it.
Right.
But to be able to sit beside him every day for 6 years, and as you said, just absorb his historical knowledge, but then also watch the way that he talks to people, how he treats people, how he addresses conflict, how he also, says congratulations or celebrates people, all of that. I just wish I could bottle, and so that when I need it the most, I can take a little out. But he's just one of the most sincere, amazing leaders that I think has ever walked the planet. And the good news, though, Krista, for us is he's not goodbye. Good. He's, as you know, he's our chairman emeritus, so we still have him on standby whenever we need him. And since his transition, we still talk often. So
I love that.
So that makes me feel better.
Do you have one piece of advice that has stood out that he's shared with you over the past years that you could go, I'm going to recall that, or it comes to you from time to time in the busyness of your day, and you go, I remember what he said. Best piece of advice he gave you.
Yes, and it started when I first got here, and I didn't appreciate what it meant, but now I certainly do. And when we were first starting PSP, we were trying to figure out what we were. We knew our goals, but how are we going to get there, and what things should we really be looking at, what things should we not be looking at? And so just trying to get our feet wet, and initially our committees and our teams put together some things that I thought, it was like, oh boy, we can do this. Like, we're going to be crushing it. And so I would take a couple of those to Secretary Evans, and he'd be like, those are okay. Those aren't big enough.
Wow.
He said, you are not thinking big enough. I need you to think big. And to me, those were big.
Right.
And he said, no, Tracee, I mean big. And it didn't take me long to realize when Secretary Evans says big, he means big.
And you listen and you go, okay, let me think bigger.
And I've never had anybody challenge me on thinking that big. We've always had people say, dream big, think big, but not Texas size, West Texas size big.
Right.
Yeah. And
it's bigger. Everything's bigger here in Texas. It's a fact. It is. You have to dream bigger in Texas.
Yes. And to watch him take something that most normal human beings would view as unattainable or a pipe dream and make it real, really instilled in me, and I hope I'm helping to instill in my team, that there is really no such thing as too big.
Yes.
If you decide that's what you want or what needs to happen, you should go get it and not pay attention to the voices saying that's impossible.
Couldn't agree
He
more.
taught me that.
I love that. Great piece of advice. You mentioned he was really great with conflict. I want to ask you maybe some of the challenges. Was there any challenge this year that you really learned from and went, oh, okay, we may have to do it a little different, and it really just kind of maybe made you pivot a little?
I will say every day is full of those kinds of challenges. Some bigger than others, but every day, because I don't say problems, the challenges, the opportunities that we are trying to help with are so great. When you say the words access to quality healthcare, my goodness, where do you start? Right. And how do you prioritize? And so, but a decision has to be made. And again, we go back to data and science. But even then, you've got all these things on your side. There's going to be somebody in our community who says, I think you should have prioritized this before that, because where I live in my community, we're desperate for this. And so being able to say, I hear you, you're right, but we got to start somewhere. Right. You can't win all. Nobody's always going to have their first priority all the time. And so that presents its own set of challenges, for sure. Another one is, I think I'm sure you've heard others say this too, when we are in Washington, D.C. or Austin or Santa Fe or really anywhere outside of the Permian, and we're saying, invest in us. Invest in us. Be our partner in building world-class education facilities. People say, listen, I love your vision. I want to be part of that, but you guys live in the Permian. There's abundance of wealth.
Right.
And don't you already have the resources to do it? And so it's been challenging to be able to have to sit down with those folks, not have to, but the opportunity to sit down and really explain to them.
Right.
We are the economic engine for New Mexico, for Texas, arguably the United States. But sometimes we see more go out, right, than stays here. And that's a foreign concept to most. And I understand that.
Right.
So there are some educational challenges that we're still continuing to work through.
And I think until people actually come here and see and live it and see exactly the impact we're having on the world, and then the challenges of where we are located, that they don't understand it until they're deep in the heart here and then see it and then go, oh, now we get it.
Now I get it.
Now we see the roads and then they can really get behind it a little more.
Yes.
Right. I love that.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the goals for next year, because I know you, and I know you got big dreams, because Secretary Evans made sure that we were dreaming big before he passed the torch. What do you see happening over the next few years that you want the community to get excited about, and members that are listening today?
Yes. Well, our new chairman, who you had as your last guest, I think, Jack Harper, I am so excited to begin the next 4 or 5 years with Jack next year. His vision and goals for PSP are also equally as big, and also really, really amazing. And it will partner beautifully with Secretary Evans' vision and goals for PSP. So
wonderful. So
just to watch Jack and work beside him and watch how he works, that's in and of itself really exciting. When it comes to big projects, more in healthcare. So I hope that we see kind of some of the more collaboration that you and I were talking about. I would love to see at the Beacon Alliance, which we're so proud of, out at the property there, I would love to see an A&M, a UT flag, and a Texas Tech flag.
That would be amazing.
Planted out there, right? Where, and the great thing about it is Tech is really good at family practice, family physicians, nursing. UT is really good at cancer care and a great nursing program. A&M has their specialties. And so it's not like they're necessarily competing. We can put all of that together and put them in one spot out here in the Permian. And
right.
I've never known 3 universities, especially in a rural setting, to come together like that. So I'm not saying I'll get the flags up all 3 next year, but we're going to move closer to that.
But we can dream big.
We sure can.
We can.
Along those lines, I think it's pretty well known out there, or at least I hope it is, that MD Anderson is incredibly interested in building a cancer clinic out here that would just transform not only families who are dealing with cancer or who unfortunately will deal with cancer in the future, but if you think about what that will do for us economically,
yes,
it's mind-blowing. Right. We're right now in the middle of a study that goes through those numbers and talks about what the economic driver that it could be for our area short and long term. And I have a little insight into that, and it is mind-blowing just what having MD out here will do for our area.
Well, because now all those families that are affected by cancer that right now are traveling to Houston and the surrounding area, because we're not just Midland, Odessa, Big Spring, Andrews, Pecos. We have so many rural communities that when they have cancer hit their family, where do they go? They have to travel. And so this will be such a unique and wonderful opportunity to have a campus here that will really change lives and make it easier on families when they're going through the hardest time of their life.
Yes.
So what a blessing that will be to have them right here in the Permian Basin.
Yes.
That's exciting. I can't wait.
So exciting.
And the Beacon, I think, when you travel along 191, I don't know about you, but I get excited every time I look that way. I'm like, yes, I can't wait to see all of this come to fruition. The Behavioral Health Center, Wagner Noel there. So many wonderful, the UTPB campus there of engineering. I mean, it's just so mind-blowing for someone who's been here a long time for me to see so much growth in this area. So it's going to be a wonderful 2026.
One of my favorite things to do, Chris, is when we're driving by that area is I make my husband, who I drive with all the time, say, honey, look over there. He's like, honey, I've seen it. I say, no, because I want this to be like frozen in your brain what this looks like right now.
Right.
Because in just a couple of years, it's going to look completely different and you're going to be amazed what's out there. And I tell my kids that and everybody, look over there.
Yes, I love that.
I mean, even to your point, since the Behavioral Health Center and all the wonderful things UTPB is doing, I mean, that's going to be a very bright economic spot and also a place of life for everybody in the Permian. So right. Yeah, I'm excited to work on that too.
Yes, I love that. And I'm thinking back, I remember it was just dirt before there was any of it. And so it really is exciting to see it grow. You've shared with us your hopes for 2026 professionally. How about personally? What do you hope personally? Because I do want to note, you don't just fly in here and do the work and leave. You live here. You've been embedded in our community for the past 6 years. And I appreciate that. I love that about you, that you took on this role and said, that's it, I'm moving here from Colorado, correct?
Yes.
I'm moving here. I'm planting my roots here, and you have finished raising your family here as well. So tell us what you hope for, personally.
Well, it will be 7 years in March that we have been here, and every day in the Permian, I'm not just saying this, gets better and better for us. And our kids are now grown out of the house. In fact, done with college. So. Yes. And they come home, and every time they come home, they say, we get it. Get it why you love it so much here. Because now our friends have become their friends, and it's like coming home to a giant family when they come back for holidays or whatever it is to visit. And it just is such a special place, as you know, and it is home to us. And so I think for 2026, I am very much looking forward to watching my kids continue to spread their wings. They're at that point where I think we have given them really strong roots, and all the tools that they need to succeed. And now we get to go watch them use those tools.
Yes.
And it's a tad bit frightening. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't, but it's mostly exciting.
Yes.
So I feel like 2026 is going to be a big year for our family and our kids for sure. And I'm very excited for that. But professionally, I'm excited for some of the projects that we just talked about. I also think it's a year when in the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of consolidation among industry. Mm-hmm. But I think what the community is going to continue to see is that's not going to impact PSP's investments and our commitment to the region. Mm-hmm. And why I say that is because my mind is going back to COVID and those hard couple of years. And those were the times when our community needed us the most mm-hmm. to not only keep investing, but in some places, like really double down in healthcare and education and some other spots. And so I don't know. We'll see what 2026 brings, but if it looks a little cloudier than most, then we're ready to step up and do what we do. So it makes me happy to know that we're here to stay, we're long-term, and we have the ability to do that.
I love that. Well, thank you for doing what you do. I appreciate you, your team, your members, because you truly are making our community a better place. I see it daily when I pass certain things that I know you've had your special touch on, and I'm like, yes, I know that's better because of PSP, and so we appreciate you. Is there anything in closing today that maybe we haven't touched on that you're like, oh, I hope we get to share this, and we really just haven't even gotten to dive into it? Because I feel like we could talk for another 3 hours, but I know you've got to keep going in the day.
Yeah, that's right. I think, Krista, it's one of our favorite times of year. We just talked about this, and I also think it's a time of year where we get to reflect on those relationships and the people that mean the most to us, mm-hmm. and really take the time and the care to reach out. I mean, we all know people in our community who are alone mm-hmm. or who are just having an extra hard time, who need to be touched, and so this is a great time of year to do that. And our community is so good about taking care of each other. And
yes.
So during your hustle bustle of being happy with your family and your loved ones, remember to reach out to those who maybe aren't as lucky as we are.
That's right. I love that. And if you don't know anyone personally going through it, we have so many amazing nonprofits that will help you do that and help spread the joy and really touch those lives that could use it. So Thank you so much for all you do. I appreciate you. Tracee Bentley, CEO and President of Permian Strategic Partnership. It has been an amazing year, and I cannot wait to see what comes down the pipeline, pun intended. I cannot wait to see what happens next, because every year when we have a guest sit here, and thank you for allowing us to share these stories here through the podcast, because every guest that sits where you're sitting, I learn something more about our community and the amazing people who make it all happen, from presidents of universities to presidents of companies to yourself. We really get to hear from you the hard work that your teams are doing and making a difference. So
thank you for helping us tell our story, Krista. I cannot think of anybody better.
Thank you.
To help share what we're doing.
Thank you. I love our community just like you do, and we hope that you will pass this on to someone who loves our community just as much, because we want to share all the good things happening here in the Permian Basin, because we are all in this together, truthfully. And as you know, the future lies in the Permian. So from all of us here at the Permian Strategic Partnership and the podcast, we want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Tracee, thank you for your time. It was lovely.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Make it a great one.